Back at Whole Foods in Houston, Texas, and charge point stations here, they're great typically, but occasionally they don't work perfectly. So I've been getting an overcurrent fault, which just means that it stops charging for my purposes for traveling. So I've disconnected one of my fast chargers, this guy right here, and now I'm charging, but more slowly. I'm going to probably not charge all the way and just charge up as much as I need to, just barely, and make it to Beaumont so I can get charging faster. More adventures in charging. Also, it's supposed to rain later today, so I really want to get going, get as far as I can. Charging up at Whole Foods with my Zero SR, and a Tesla comes up, and this person is on a road trip. This is my new friend Kay from Dallas, and she has come from a town where she tried 3 different blink stations, and finally the 3rd one worked. So I talked about how great ChargePoint is, and then here only one of the ChargePoint stations is working, that one. This one is not working, there's a fault. But I just had to charge up for about 10 minutes. We had a nice little chat, and now I'm gonna get going and she's gonna plug in. So it's fun meeting new EV drivers. Oh yeah? Yeah, you gotta put it in. Well, it doesn't matter, it's free, but there's an app where you can track your charging. And you can actually see how much it's charging and how much you've gotten.
Yeah.
So
it should be ready.
Yep, it's ready.
So that's all I do.
Oh, there you go. That's it. And then you have your adapter in already?
But once it gets started, you think it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2 plugged in, tap card to start. Oh, so tap your card. Here, I'll get you started. There you go.
Oh, so now it's...
Yeah.
I guess because I didn't have a ChargePoint card. But we researched and said I didn't need one.
I've seen these start using credit cards before, so I figured it'd just be easier for me to...
Oh, well, that's nice. But it didn't cost you anything, right?
No.
All right.
No, you can stay as long as you want and it won't cost me a thing.
All right, have a safe trip then.
Yeah, thanks, you too. Did it stop?
It says the extension cord's bad. It's only going to give me 12 miles an hour. I'll be here forever.
Yeah, no, these are only 30 amps and 220 volts. So that's like 6 kilowatts. Which will be about 12 miles an hour.
Oh, so that's what's expected.
Yeah, exactly. Do that. So check out the RV Parky app, and if you really want to get to an RV park, because those have the 50 amp and the 220. Yep. Good luck. So I just met a relatively new electric vehicle driver, and now I'm at the BMW in Beaumont, Texas. Thank you for the charge, guys. It dawned upon me that not everyone knows how electricity works, and what kind of electricity is available and how much is available. So the Tesla driver in Houston plugged into the ChargePoint station, and she was getting about 14 miles of driving range per hour of charging. And this surprised her a little bit. However, this is exactly what you would expect, and here's why. A Tesla or an electric car like a Leaf, a Chevy Volt, something like that, will drive about 2 or 3 miles on 1 kilowatt hour of charge. So a kilowatt hour is a unit of charge, that's a unit of energy. The ChargePoint stations provide 220 volts at 30 amps. So 220 times 30, that's 6,600, but it's 6.6 kilowatts, because kilo means 1,000. So 6.6 kilowatts, so that means in 1 hour, she'll get 6.6 kilowatts times 2, let's say, will give you 13.2 miles of range. And that's what you'll get. She's used to a faster charger for Tesla, which is either 100 amps at 220 volts or 80 amps, or even a 50 amp outlet at a RV park will give you 10 kilowatts of charging power. So that gets you about 20 to 25 miles of range for each hour that you charge. I can go much farther on a kilowatt hour of charge because I have a smaller vehicle, it's much lighter, and so I can go about 10 miles per kilowatt hour of charge at 55 or 60 miles an hour. If I go slower, I can extend my range. If I go faster, it decreases my range. Charging at regular charging stations like ChargePoint, you get 6 kilowatts of charging. At RV parks, you can get up to 10 kilowatts of charging, and then with Tesla superchargers, you can get 135 kilowatts of charging. 250 miles in 1 hour. You don't actually get 250 miles in 1 hour because the charge rate drops as you continue to charge because it's protecting the battery. So that's good. Now the charging station at Whole Foods in Houston tripped when I tried to charge it, and it didn't trip last time when I charged. Here's why. If my battery is really low, that means that the voltage has gone from 116 volts to somewhere in the 70s, like 78, maybe 82, something like that. So it charges more, as a result of that, it charges more slowly when the battery is low. So if I'm at 15%, then it'll charge at about 6.0 kilowatts. All right. So the charger at Whole Foods probably had 208 volts at 30 amps instead of 220 volts or 240 volts. You see, electricity can be provided either at 208, 220, or 240. It's not always consistent. So because of that, my charging system tripped the circuit and caused me to not charge only because my state of charge was already high. My state of charge arriving this morning at the Houston Whole Foods was already pretty high. I was only at 85% charge. So I didn't need that much, but that meant that my battery voltage was high, and that means that I'm going to be charging at a faster rate than when I pulled in 4 days ago on my way towards San Antonio. So that's why it tripped this time and didn't trip last time. But if you understand a little bit about electricity, it'll go far in understanding how to use electric vehicles. Just checked into my first Airbnb location in Natchez, Mississippi. Of course, I'm blinding myself with this flashlight, not a good idea, but you can see, you know, this is my view. Left at 7 a.m. from Houston, rode 350 miles, arrived at 8 p.m. I could do the Blair Witch Project. I don't know what's going on. Help me. Except if I do that, I can't see and I might fall down the bluffs. All right, time to get food.